Hello folks, it's Kevin here from Goblins of Creation, and today I'm going to do a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to try and do my least expensive, cheapest pour that I've ever done. And to make this as cheap as possible, the canvas I'm going to be using is actually, this is a Harry Potter sort of canvas from Poundland, and this one, funny enough, it was 50p. I don't know if it's been marked down, so I bought two of these. They're not fabric, they are some sort of plasticky paper, but I mean they're a bit like canvas. So I have given these a coat with black household paint. This is the paint I'm using. It's rich black matte. This one is Dulux, but any paint will do. This is leftover. You want a little bit of black paint for something, and this is the smallest that they've got, and you end up with a lot left over. So I have primed it with this, and I'm gonna just pour a bit of this into a tub because this is going to be my base coat. So I'm gonna pour in. There we go. Okay, let's grab one of the stirrers. Get it out of there. Otherwise I won't be able to open it next time. Oops, there we go. I am clumsy. Anyone who's seen these will know how clumsy I am. Right, that'll be the last we need of the black, so I should put that away. And I'm left back to knock it over on here. Alright, so there we go. Household black paint. And I've got here some PVA. This is the cheapest chips one. Can't remember where I got it, but it was very inexpensive for the amount. And this is where he finds he can't do the security. Oh, this should be in the outtakes, this one. Problem with PVA, it's an adhesive. There we go. That was nearly an adult proof top, that one. There we go. Right, let's pop some in there. Now, if I thought about this and prepared in advance, I probably would have stuck this through a stocking or something to get rid of some of the lumps. So forgive me if the finish piece is a little bit lumpy. Now I've got these little shop cups that I reuse, as you can probably tell by all of the different colours in the bottom. Very handy little cups, and what I've got here is some paints, the sort of thing. I don't know if that's going to come out okay, but these are the sort of thing you get in the UK in Lidl or the Works. It's just a set of small tube of acrylic paint. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a little bit of this into each of these. That made no sense at all, did it, unless you were watching? So yeah, I'm going to pop some PVA into each one of these. That's just probably easier if I just pour into one and then into the others, isn't it? Yeah. Good. Just top it out. See, that's how clumsy I am. I'm knocking the camera. Right. Let me just pop some of this into each one of these. Right, so silicone. I normally use Paveo silicone oil for my paints, but since we're on the cheap, I am going to get some of the silicone oil I use on my sewing machine. So I'm going to mix in a couple of drops of each to each of these. There are lots of things that contain silicone, including different types of hair oil and other treatments. If you do a search on the on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find loads of videos from people using different techniques. Right, so let's do the paint. So staying away from greens and browns because they tend to sort of leave a fairly muddy result, and I'm just going to empty out as much of the paint into. I'm going to have to get myself one of those little squeezy, bendy paint emptying tools. Of course, this one is brand new, so I've not even got a hole in it. Just going to find a hole in it. Thing to put holes in the backs of paint tubes is normally the backs of a brush, and this one is no exception, so let's put that in there. Orange, this one's obviously let's use a bit of purple and a bit of orange, but none of the yellow. One of the nice things about the cheaper paints is that they tend not to have much subtlety. So they, the reds are very red, the yellows are very yellow, the oranges are very oranges, which is, you know, for this experiment, I think it's going to make it a much clearer piece at the end of it. Now I've got a bit too much in that last one, so I'm just going to tip a bit into the black. Oops, daisy! I've just tipped out all the silicone oil into the black. As I say, that's me clumsy. Let's just take that. Fortunately, the background is black, so even if it does pop through, it's going to not do anything too weird. I'll leave it. Let's clear the yellow off the back. Down on green. And put that. Here we go. Okay. Oops, a daisy. Oh dear. Anyway, well, actually, I think it's ladder. I've got this brush because I brought this to stir it, but the size of the stirrer to the cups is probably going to make it rather hard. Right. So here we go. Mix the PVA with the. Pouring consistency, you'll see this on many videos. Some people like it a little bit runnier, and for different techniques you may like it runnier. I like it so that when you grip it sort of pulls on the surface a second and then disappears, so that is a little too thick. So I'm going to get myself some water. And pop a bit of water in. One trick I have learned is when you put water on the top, if you start stirring the same way you were stirring before, you'll just splash the water everywhere. So go with a sort of motion that's from the top to the bottom of the mug rather than around the round version before. Get going right. See that that's beautiful. Nice and thick. Okay, so that's going to be our base. Now, I've got blue on this already, so let's start with the blue. So I may need a splash of water in these as well. Yeah, I'm going to need a little bit of water in this one. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube of people doing this. Now, I can understand why you'd not want to put your disasters on YouTube, especially if you were professional and selling pieces. So it's always good to watch amateurs like myself, because we tend to be not more honest, but we just maybe we don't care as much. We put on our mistakes as well as our successes onto YouTube, and as the old saying goes, any man can learn from his own mistakes. It's a wise man who learns the mistakes of others. Man as in mankind, please. I'm not getting into sexual politics on this, and that is a little bit too thick still, so I can see all of these. Now when I'm doing my normal mix, I use a slightly heavier bodied acrylics. I don't use these, so I do a 1 part water, 1 part acrylic, 1 part Floetrol. The Floetrol is a paint conditioner which really helps it run, and without mixing too much with the paint running beside it, which is what you want. I mean, if you try this with watercolours, you just end up with a splodge. There we go. You can see I can tip that side to side, no problem at all. That's good. Clean that off. Follow the rules that when you're going from using the same tool to mix, even though you take care not to wipe off all the paint before you go on to the next one, it does make sense if you try the next one you go to is one that's a similar colour. That way, if you have still got a little bit hidden, it's not going to cause too much of a problem. So I've gone from blue to purple, so if there was a little bit of blue, you're not going to notice it too much. And I will probably go from purple to red, then red to orange, and orange to yellow, for the same reason. That is nice. So earlier I said I'm staying away from the greens and oranges and the browns. I didn't say oranges though, but the dark oranges. The bright orange is pretty good. It's because it does become very muddy, and unless that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for an earthy sort of effect, like some people will do green across brown, so that you like an autumnal finish. I like bright colours, and I like sort of sea colours, actually, as you can see behind me. So probably put a bit too much water in the orange because we don't really use the orange on that much paint. So I can always thicken it up with a little more PVA, but I don't really want to do that. Haven't used PVA for a long time. I've been using Floetrol probably for the last, well, it's just after lockdown, so a couple of months. Wow, 3 months. Yes, it's a long time. And here's the lemon. The PVA does seem to make the colours a lot lighter. This lemon almost looks like a custard or a lemon curd sort of yellow now, rather than bright sun yellow it was before. However, they will dry darker because the PVA is white in its liquid form, but it does dry clear. Right, now the moment of truth. So let's make sure this is liquid enough for our purposes. This is going to be a open cup pour, so it's basically a cup with a hole in. You can always just cut the top off. This is it's a little jelly mould, one of those ones where you push the jelly out. Now, the thing about pour is that really what you want to do is surround. I think I may have made this a little bit thick. Do you know what I have? I've made this too thick. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to scrape it off back into here, and then I'm going to add some water, and then we'll redo it. Not the end of the world. Remember, if you're going to do a pour and then you're going to stretch it or move it around the canvas, the thick paint is not a good idea. What will happen is whatever colours you've put in the middle, in the ring or in the funnel or from a cup, will basically just run over, and you'll end up with just basically a blocky, very unsmooth canvas. So that's better. I'm sure you can all see that that is flowing a lot better. I'm going to leave some in here because if we need to encourage the paint around the canvas, we want to be able to do that. So if we need to put some in the corners or on the edges, we can do that. Right, so I'm going to do half a cup of each colour. These are nice and thick. So used to flow control, I think I've made all of these far too thick. I'm just going to put a bit of water in each one of them. Oops. See, it's not nerves, that's shame. Okay, that's nerves. Right, let's. Yeah, not going to be too precious about it. This is an experiment. Experiments do have a half. That's better. Right. Okay. Let's go again. What did I start with? I can't remember. We'll go with orange. Problem is, the runnier they are, the more likely they are to mix with each other. So. I'll be a bit more careful on my delivery. I'm not going to put the purple next to the orange, I'm going to put the red next to the orange. I can't remember which ones I've... Right, here we go. Bit of red. Bit of yellow. Bit of blue. Some purple. Pass the red. That's the orange. The orange. Last the blue. Okay. A little bit of purple. A little bit yellow. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to put a little bit of black in so I don't get a mix of colours. Right, so here is my... See, I've just realised that I haven't got gloves on as well. Doing very well today. Yes, sod it. Sod it, I'm fine. Let's go. Oh, I should say, the bowl, once I primed it, I popped in little thumbtacks into each corner just to lift it off so that the drips go down and don't stick to the table. Right, we have a blob of paint slowly spreading, but not fast enough. We need to help gravity. Got some bubbles, so I'm going to burn them. Out, as I said, need a little bit of help in the corners. Right. Hopefully that will help us spread this all the way across the canvas. One of the mistakes that people make when they start pouring is they try and get the colours across the entire canvas. Now if that's really what you want, then yeah, fair enough guys, you know, go for it, put that work in that you need to do that. However, negative space is not a bad thing, so having black corners or black strip or, you know, well, whatever your basic colour is, so obviously black in this case. Try and encourage it. Visit that bottom corner. Finish. So if you are one of the people who doesn't like frames, then obviously you do need to take care that you are coating the sides. And try and bring the weight back to the centre of the canvas because I brought it all down there. A couple of blobs, but that's because I didn't take care of the PVA and put it for a filter, so you can see some blobs. It's a big blob there, big blob. Hopefully they'll be alright, and if I varnish it, or even better if I resin it, then you're not going to notice it so much. Let's just get rid of some of this paint off my hands. I'll be able to visit to the bathroom. Called black-handed. There we go. I'm gonna see if I can get some more cells going with the blowtorch now. So I'm just gonna be careful not to burn. Keep it moving. Well, thank thank you very much for watching. That's that. The cheapest pour that I've ever done. I'm not quite sure what I make of it, whether I like it or not, and as is often the way. And sometimes when a pour dries, it takes on a different sort of. Sorry, this is bothering me. This butt lump. Sometimes when they dry, they take on a completely different. No, still don't like it. Let's put some paint on it. I know, I should have left it alone. Going to help. Right, I'll just pull that off now. Yeah, don't be afraid to try and fix things. Literally the worst case scenario is you scrape it off and you do it again. And as I say, with this option, the cheap seats, that's something that you can probably afford to do easier than with the expensive ingredients. Anyway, I will take some close-ups and put them on at the end of this video. And yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Any questions? I've only been doing this a couple of months, but I have probably done about 50 now, so yeah, I'm sort of getting the hang of it. If you like this video, please put a like on. If you want to see more of this pouring stuff that I do, or any of the art stuff my wife does, or any of our family, just subscribe to Goblins of Creation. Thank you very much.